exciting day it is in Dingwall for Ross County against Rangers.
It's a little bit more physical up here, players go and make tackles.
And it has taken Amad Diallo just 4 minutes to make his mark in Scottish football. Charles Cook in red hot form, and it's going to be a Rangers goal. And it's in from Matthew Wright. What a game at the Global Energy Stadium. That is a memorable one.
Shown in the past, County, that they can compete with the teams that are better than them in the league. Saved by Lewis, there's Charles Cook, and County take the lead. Hayes spills by Laidlaw, and it's the equaliser.
Well, welcome back to RCFCTV. Good evening, everybody, from the Global Energy Stadium here in Dingwall. And I hope 3 days is enough recovery time for you, because Saturday was quite incredible, and it's another huge game this evening as Aberdeen come along to Dingwall for a huge game in the Cinch Premiership. With me tonight, Richie Hart and Stephen Craigan. Welcome, gentlemen.
Great.
That really was a spectacular game. Have you caught your breath?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic result and performance, and you know, looking back in the game, I don't think anybody would have really grudged the point to Ross County, because they put so much into the game. To go behind so early on, to regroup. I mean, usually in that kind of games you're saying, no, try and keep it tight for first 15-20 minutes. They lost a goal after 5 minutes, so they showed tremendous bravery and desire to get back into the game and to score right to death. Just summed it up. It was a wonderful performance and a great point for them.
I can imagine Sunday or Monday when the boys were coming back in for training that there would have been a real spring in their step. This place must have been buzzing.
Yeah, and it's moments like that where you can't wait for the next game to come, because you're feeling good about yourself, the atmosphere's good, players want to mix and get amongst each other and talk about the game and kind of reminisce about it. However, I would imagine the manager quite quickly put it to bed, because you don't beat Aberdeen tonight because you scored late against Rangers at the weekend. You've got to go and do it all again. All the things you've done well at the weekend, you've got to do it and a little bit more. Because Aberdeen then suddenly almost refocus on the game. They think, well, Ross County are in a better place than what we thought. They'll be buoyant, they'll be happy. So we have to then go and really push our game, which sets it up lovely, because Aberdeen had such a poor result last midweek against St Mirren away from home. Didn't get a shot on target. They'll have something to prove. And County, if results go their way, can climb into 9th place. What
were the qualities, Richie, for you that stood out in that performance?
Well, I think that one of the qualities that's been there evident all season is that character that the team have got. They showed that in abundance. I mean, just when you think it's maybe going to be too far for them to come back and get a result, when it looks like Rangers are going to go on and maybe score a 4th goal, they pull it out. The work rate, which you need in games like that, which you need in all games, but particularly against the likes of the Old Firm, because you know you're going to spend most of the time without the ball. I thought they were brave at times when they got into opportunities to go and attack Rangers. They did, albeit it was few and far between for Hungbo and Regan. But when they did get the chance, they went and had a go at Rangers, and they unsettled them at times. And it was 3, really bad errors from a Rangers point of view. But you've got to give credit to Ross County for how hard they worked, and they got the result that they desired.
Unfortunately, Stephen, there was an unsavoury side to the aftermath of the game, and Regan Charles Cook suffered some absolutely vile, disgusting, racist abuse. What were your thoughts on that? There will, of course, be a minute's applause in the 17th minute of this game. What was your take from Saturday?
Well, I think first of all it's disgusting, that a young man is enjoying his football, trying to make a name for himself and have a career, and for cowards to sit behind a phone or an iPad or a computer, a keyboard warrior effectively, and just type a comment that is maybe meaningless to that person, but certainly not to Regan Charles Cook. You can talk about education and how they educate people. The people who do this don't want to be educated. They've got something going on in their life that they just want to continually upset people and say disgusting things. It's abhorrent in this day and age, really, when you think about it. Whether it's gender, whether it's religion, whether it's colour, whether it's creed, there's no place for it in society, never mind sport. So, and I think the support that Regan has had since the weekend, not just from Ross County or from football, but people in general who understand him and give him a lot of support, will give him strength. And I think that's the one thing that Ross County have. They have a unity on and off the pitch. Everyone comes together and fights with one another on and off the pitch, and I think we'll see that again tonight.
There was a wonderful moment after the game, and I don't know if you saw the Sky coverage, because obviously you were on here with us, but Regan Charles Cook did his post-match interview, and it was almost as if by the end of it he had to remind himself that they'd drawn, not won. But he's a player that he knows around here how well loved he is.
Yeah, and you can see that in how he plays now. You know, we've talked about the change in the player from last season is clearly evident, and to go from the player he was last season to where he is now, top scorer in the Premier League. I mean, none of us would have thought he would have reached that. He plays football with a smile on his face. I mean, I don't know Regan personally, but he looks just a great lad that is enjoying his football. And then to come out after the game after being on such a high and receive that message is just, as Craig says, it's just disgusting.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Let's have a look at how those results at the weekend affected the Cinch Premiership table. Point between County and Rangers, of course. That actually allowed Celtic to score late through Liel Abada and cut the gap at the top of the table to 2 points, but we'll focus down at the bottom end. County now 5 ahead of Dundee, 7 ahead of St Johnstone, and they are eyeing up 9th place. If results go Ross County's way tonight, they could bypass St Mirren. So, if you can, let's have a little reminder of the goals and all the events that mattered on Saturday when Rangers came to Dingwall. Well, welcome back to the Global Energy Stadium. Teams are out and ready for kickoff. And what an exciting day it is in Dingwall for Ross County against Rangers. Here goes Aribo, breaking from midfield, gets his shot away and sends it across. And it has taken Amad Diallo just 4 minutes to make his mark in Scottish football. Rangers now looking to go up the other end with Kent. That's always a dangerous sight when he's charging at speed. And here's Arfield from Aribo's pass. Rangers go from one end of the park to the other in the blink of an eye. Hungbo up against Tavernier. Hungbo whips it in. It's lost by McGregor and tapped in by Jordan White. And County are level. It's a disaster for the veteran Alan McGregor. White and Regan Charles Cook could be in here. Charles Cook in red hot form, and the master chef does it again. Regan Charles Cook, County from 1 down to 2-1 up. What a turnaround in Dingwall. At the moment County can't get out. Kamara, Tavernier, Kamara, Eaton, James Tavernier, and there's Maynard Brewer once more. It looked ominous there. Rangers carving County open. Looks like it suits the right footer, and James Tavernier takes it. Oh, wow. Well, some at the other end thought that as the net rippled that was 2-2. Amad Diallo takes on the shot. Maynard Brewer palms it away, and it's there for a tap-in for James Tavernier, and it's exactly the response Rangers were looking for at the start of this second half. Tavernier in the right place at the right time to knock it home. Aribo, he's still going. It's brilliant play from him. Cut back to Eaton. Ross County somehow surviving. It's still coming back through Aribo. Now Barisic, Arfield, and it's deflected off Callahan, and out it goes for a corner. Well, he's in again here, the Rangers captain. It's Tavernier across looking for Eaton. In goes Maynard Brewer, to the relief of the County fans around the ground. Out to Diallo. Diallo, and it's just wide. Took a touch on its way through. Vokins has got his hands full. Barisic is free and able to measure the cross in again towards Roof. Scrambled away, but only as far as Arfield, and it's going to be a Rangers goal. They have turned it around. Hungbo takes, it's towards the back post.
He should
It
score.
should have been for Watson. It's a great chance for Keith Watson. Arfield now, bit of space for him, and Roof gets turned, gets the shot away. It's the post that denies him. That could be the strike of luck the Ross County need here. Joining him is Fashion Sakala. This could finish it. Out comes Maynard Brewer. He's collided with his own man there, and there's going to be some more work for the medical team. Big moment, you feel. Rangers have taken everyone back inside their 18-yard box. Can County rescue a precious point? Baldwin, it's teed up, it's McGregor, and it's in from Matthew Wright in the 96th minute. Matthew Wright, a Highland hero today. And that is the full-time whistle. What a game at the Global Energy Stadium. That is a memorable one. What a moment to remember for Matthew Wright. Well, we're fortunate, guys, because we've seen Ross County for a long time, and we know what they can produce in these moments. But I don't know about you, I got a lot of messages after that game to say, wow, is that what it's like watching Ross County? That it really shone a light on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's testament to how far they've come over this last while. We talked about at the start of the season where they weren't getting the results or performances merited. But they're starting to make this place a difficult place to come now. You know, they've drawn with Hearts here, beaten Hibs, beaten Motherwell, ran Celtic very close, drew with Rangers. So you know that's what you need from these home games. Try and get that momentum going, and then pick up what you can away from home. And they're starting to do that now. Yeah,
I think we touched on it in the last game. One defeat here since October. That's in 6 games. That came in the 97th minute against Celtic, Anthony Ralston. Is the quick turnaround a good thing when you've got that momentum?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, and particularly coming here because they've enjoyed themselves. They know they can win games. You know, we said coming up on the card tonight, 9 goals in their last 4 home games. 3 against Dundee, 1 against Celtic, 3 against Motherwell, 3 against Rangers. You know, if that doesn't excite fans, that doesn't excite players about coming here and put a little bit of fear into the opposition, then nothing will. Naturally, they would like to defend a little bit better. I think conceding 41 goals, the most in the league, hurts at times. But the fact they've scored 34 goals, you know, they've got the best goal difference in the bottom 6. So they're an exciting team to watch. They have a go. And that's what's going to happen sometimes. That's your trade-off. If you're going to open up an attack, you're going to possibly leave yourself exposed at the back. It's something Malky will want to work on and improve on, no doubt about it. But they entertain. And get into this game tonight, being all honest, we have no idea what we're going to expect. But we know it's going to be enjoyable. And we hope, with our fingers crossed, that County can come out with 3 points.
Well, January transfer window has, of course, come to a close. A lot quieter than the summer, wasn't it?
It was. I was just I was hearing on Talksport earlier on. They were talking about the money involved in the transfer market in England and that this year, colossal amounts of money. But yeah, it's been fairly quiet, and I think obviously Malky's been happy enough with his squad. I mean, it's a difficult time for managers. I can imagine they're probably getting inundated with various players and what have you. And I'm sure if the right player becomes available, then they would have looked at it. But I think they've got a really good squad here. I think the recruitment's been excellent from Malky, and the way that he's utilised the squad as well. Everybody seems to be getting game time. Yeah. And I know that some of the changes have been forced. You know, they've had some injuries, suspensions, whatever. But there's been times where he's rotated as well, and everybody is playing their part. And I think that's huge for them going forward, especially with the tough run of games coming up.
Well, thank you very much for now. And earlier, Stephen managed to get the thoughts of Malky Mackay ahead of the game.
Malky, we're back again. I imagine you've had a buoyant set of players since Saturday's game.
Yeah, very much so. We were in Sunday morning, quick turnaround obviously for the Tuesday game, but they were in great spirits. Obviously scoring in the last minute was something that was great for everyone at the stadium and the club. So yeah, they were bubbly in yesterday, but then focused, ready to go for obviously tonight.
You talk about that quick turnaround. Now, we all know what players do, or certainly I do, with regards to recovery. It must be a busy time for your staff doing a debrief of the Rangers game, focusing on the Aberdeen game, and it'll be non-stop. Very much so, Craigs. It's exactly that. You have to get that debrief in the Sunday morning first, and then after training, we then flip into Aberdeen, talking about Aberdeen, starting to talk about them with the ball. We went in without the ball on the Monday. Our set pieces, our structure, our game plan. So yeah, certainly the analysis staff are hard at it from that moment onwards, and obviously medical as well, trying to make sure everyone's fit and okay. Bumps and bruises are all okay for 2 days, so it really is when you do that quick turnaround. But it helps if you've got a process and you actually make sure that everyone's clear as to the way we work with every team. That kind of helps, but it's time consuming, yeah. I often hear a lot of managers saying, or people talking about trying to bring the players back down to earth after a big game. But is it not quite the opposite? That it takes you that long to get the players off the ground and feeling good about themselves? You almost want to carry on that emotion and that adrenaline into the next game. Very much so. We've got another big team coming. You know, Aberdeen are a big club in this country, and a couple of days later we've got them coming again. So it's like what I said on Saturday in terms of it being, you want to play in as many big games with good attendances as possible. Though Aberdeen will bring some good fan base here tonight. Again, the stadium will be rocking, and I just want them to go and carry that on. Saturday showed once again the resilience that this group of players have. You mentioned the word proud after the game. It rings true. Very much so. It really was, because of the courage that they had to actually keep and the bravery of stepping on into the game in the second half and actually going a full press, so that everyone you had to just really be on your own man and step forward into their half. And I thought in that last 15 minutes, when we had, for 20 minutes or so survived a bit of an Alamo, and Rangers coming at us, and we'd managed to keep it to 1 goal. I knew that if in the last 15 minutes we could actually then just have the bravery to step onto them, I knew we would create at least a chance or two, which we ended up doing. Obviously with the corner just before, we managed to force a couple of corners in the last couple of minutes, which is saying a lot for the team, to then have the ability for Keith to miss the header, and then us to young Matty to actually score the rebound on the second one. And you changed the shape of the team. So you've played your part without patting everyone else in the back. You've changed you've played your part. And I think sometimes making that positive substitution sends on a positive message to the players to say, listen, we are going to go for this. We had to, I just felt we had to. We went back to a flat 4 at the back, and we pushed the 2 wingers high. We played between midfield, played with the 2 centre forwards, and as I say, putting young Matty on for his debut, it was always one of those ones. I knew if we get a chance to run about the box, he's always somebody that can nick a goal. He's in an incredible vein of form in the Highland League at the moment. But actually, great credit to the boys, because it stems from them. And even putting Jack Baldwin up front for the last 5 minutes, it was just something I felt that they would actually adapt to. And it meant Rangers went onto the back foot, which is what we needed at that point in the game. What kind of threat did Aberdeen bring here tonight? A very good team for me. A team that are very comfortable in possession. And a team that has got experience running through the whole team. Good squad of players, so we know the tough test it's going to be tonight. We've got to make sure that we are absolutely on our guard. Finally, the transfer window's shut. Are you happy with the shape your squad's in for the second half of the season? Yeah, we looked at another one that kind of hit the post at the last minute again. Really to do with the player and the club themselves rather than anything that we could have done. We've got the possibility of another one coming in the next couple of days on a free transfer, which will help the squad as well. And we did our business early in getting the 2 boys from Coventry and Southampton bedded in at the start of January. So in effect, I'm delighted to get those 2 in. If I can get this one over the line the next couple of days, I'll be really happy. Malky, all the best tonight. Good luck. Craigs. Thank you.
Well, let's get straight into the team news, what Malky Mackay has selected for this evening's game. It shows 3 changes from the side that managed to get that 3-3 draw with Rangers. Outgoing Maynard Brewer, Baldwin and Harry Payton. And so it's an opportunity for Ross Laidlaw. Keith Watson comes into the heart of the defence. And also Dominic Samuel getting the chance to play from the start. Richie, it's a team that's now it's quite well balanced. You know what you're going to get from it, but we've got 3 changes there, 2 of them enforced through injury, of course.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what I meant by talking about the squad. I think the guys that are coming into the team are more than capable, and they've shown it throughout the season. A couple of forced changes, obviously, but nothing to be concerned about. The only thing is, obviously, when you're picking up the injuries and stuff, especially in the defensive, it's not an area that you want to keep having to change. But when it's forced upon you, you just have to get on with it. Keith Watson, experienced enough to come in there, command and organise from there. And then I like Lucas Samuel coming in there to link the play between Jordan and White, because at times I think that's sometimes an area that can be improved on. So I'm happy to see him in there tonight.
Stephen, it feels like it's quite a big night for Ross Laidlaw. As much as he's played and very well in a Ross County jersey, coming in, it's a big opportunity for him with Maynard Brewer going out.
Well, it is. I think it's a big opportunity for all the players coming in and players sitting on the bench, even like Matthew Wright and Adam McKinnon, because you're thinking to yourself, after watching Saturday's game, I wouldn't mind a bit of that. I want to be involved in that team. I want to feel the emotion that those players felt and feel like I've played a part, because as much as you're a squad player, and it's great for the squad, we all want to play. You all want to be in that first 11. Ross Laidlaw will be exactly that. But sometimes you got to pat your opposite number on the back. Ashley Maynard Brewer's been excellent, so Ross Laidlaw's had the bye this time. But when the big moments come and the games come along, all you can do is go out and give the manager a reminder of what you can do and how you can play. So it's a big night for him, no doubt about it. We've said they've conceded 41 goals this season. If he could go out and have a clean sheet tonight, it would certainly make him feel good about himself.
That Matty Wright goal from the weekend will be played over and over again. It's one of those sort of fairy tales, isn't it, with the boy from Stornoway coming on after scoring 21 goals at Brora Rangers in the first half of the season. Fantastic moment.
No, absolutely. And I remember my first ever goal I scored for Ross County when I was a young lad was away at Forfar many years ago, and I can remember that feeling of that day. That was back in the old 3rd division. So the feeling that Matty Wright must have had scoring the equaliser against Rangers would have been something else, and something that he'll always be able to look back on. But Craigs is right. There's an opportunity coming. You can see, the squad's a little bit thin there at the moment with injuries and stuff like that. There's opportunities that's going to come along for these young guys, and you can do no more. Matty could do no more than come on there and try and get involved, and unfortunately scores a goal. But he should be looking now and saying, I want more of that.
I want back on the
get
pitch.
Involved.
Absolutely, I want another opportunity. What I would say to him is, don't be remembered as the guy who scored the equaliser against Rangers back in 2022. Be someone who now goes on and makes a career and scores more goals and gets people talking about him for lots of goals as opposed to one single goal. That's down to him as an individual. When he came on at the weekend, you could see he's a little bit raw in his hold-up play, his link-up play, his movement, but inside the 18-yard box. I'd said it that if you're a goal scorer at any level, it's transferable. No matter what league you play in, if you're scoring goals and you have that instinct, you will score goals. He seems to have that instinct. That's the one thing probably County don't have, is a real instinctive, natural goal scorer. And he seems as if he's got the credentials to be that. So, there's a career there for you. There's opportunities there for you. Go and take them.
I'm intrigued now. When was your first professional goal?
My first professional goal was for Partick Thistle in 2001. Against Stenhousemuir. We had won the old league, the old 3rd tier, was it Division 2 then. There's a great photograph I took off my top. I had a skinhead at the time, looking really hard. Took off my top, swung it around, threw it up in the air. The family was over from Northern Ireland, so it was a great day. We won 4-0, it was the 4th goal, so it was actually meaningless, but it meant a lot to me.
Well, we touched on the January window before, possibly the biggest thing, because a man who's really knows the way to goal, top scorer in the Premiership, Regan Charles Cook, is still here, and he will be until the end of the season. That's big news.
That is big news, because when you score the amount of goals that he has done, and from a wide position, you're going to be attracting attention. So to be able to hold onto him until the end of the season is a huge plus. Hopefully they'll be able to keep him here for longer. Would love to see him stay, as I'm sure all the fans would as well, because, like I say, football is all about enjoying it. Confidence, he's clearly got all that at the moment. Clearly he wasn't in the right frame of mind or happy last year. Something's changed this year. He looks a completely different player. You can tell that he's really enjoying his football, and like many others, I'm hoping that the club will be able to tie him down and keep him here for longer.
More from the boys shortly, but we'll take a quick break before focusing on the opposition tonight, Aberdeen.
Oil and gas, power generation, and heavy industry all rely on the safe and continuous operation of their high-voltage networks. The demand on these industries is continuously increasing, and the need for an electrical supply without interruption is critical. Contact us today to find out how we can provide 24/7 PD monitoring solutions for you.
Well, Aberdeen, they've been a bit of a funny team this season, haven't they?
Yeah.
Their form has definitely improved of late after a very sticky patch in that sort of middle section. I think from September through to the end of November, they only won twice.
Yeah, I think that's the frustration probably of Stephen Glass, that he's looking at his team and he's picking a strong team and he's thinking, we've got a good squad of players, but a lot of the time he's not too sure what he's going to get. I just think, having watched them a few times, that they look quite predictable, as in, I'm not too sure what they're going to do. They've lacked a little bit of pace, they've lacked a little bit of creativity. Ryan Hedges is now gone, so someone else is going to have to step up and take that responsibility. They've got good experience in Scott Brown. Ross McCrory is about the place. Dylan McGeoch, Johnny Hayes. So they've got good players. But I just struggle to see at times what is it they're wanting to do. And until they nail down a structural, tactical plan, then it's always kind of going to be this way. But Stephen Glass is an inexperienced manager. He's still trying to work out himself maybe what he wants from his players, or trying to get that message across. But Aberdeen should be challenging in around the top 3 or top 4. So for them to be sitting 6th will be a major disappointment.
Well, here's a look at the team selected by Stephen Glass. 3 changes from last midweek, actually, because their game against St Johnstone on Saturday was postponed. So this is 3 changes from the team that were defeated away at St Mirren a week ago. In come Johnny Hayes, Dylan McGeoch and Vicente Bisaya, a young Dutch player who came in the window. He makes his debut tonight. So, I mean, January did have fairly big implications for Aberdeen, because the main one was Ryan Hedges going away. A stalwart of that team, Niall McGinn, is now away. So this team is starting to evolve into Stephen Glass's team.
Yeah, I think that's clear. He wanted to make his own mark on the team, and you know, looking at that team there's no doubt that they've got, as Craig says, they've got quality in their team. But for some reason, it's just not really clicked for them. They've been very inconsistent. You know, and Craig's is right what they're saying. It's, you watch Aberdeen and you don't really know what you're going to get. But they have got players, if they get it right, that can hurt you. The likes of Lewis Ferguson, McGeoch coming in there as well, who can be great on his day, other times not so good. So it'll be interesting to see what Aberdeen team turns up tonight.
They needed something out wide, an impressive wide player, and I know you've been practicing the new Dutch number 10, his name.
Well, we heard it. I was going to say we heard it, Bisayan. We're not too sure if it's a silent N or not, but the way he pronounced it. But that's what they need. You know, Aberdeen fans want to get excited. You know, when Johnny Hayes used to play wide left, Niall McGinn played wide right. They attack teams. They got people off their seats. They've kind of got away from that over the last couple of years, and they've been quite a predictable team to watch and not as exciting as what the Aberdeen fans would want. So Stephen Glass was brought in to bring in entertaining, exciting, attacking football. He hasn't got there yet, but naturally it takes its process. It takes a little bit of time. But if they didn't win here tonight, Ross County suddenly go within 3 points off them, albeit Aberdeen have a game in hand. So, you know, I think they have to look over their shoulders.
Lewis Ferguson adds quite a lot of goals from midfield, often from the penalty spot. What does he bring to that team?
I think he's a very, very good player, very combative midfielder, can get up, score some good goals, score some important goals. As you say, a lot of them come from the penalty spot, but you've still got to get up there and finish them off. I'm surprised actually that he's still at Aberdeen. I thought he might have moved on by now. Maybe that will come at the end of the season, I don't know. But he is definitely one player that County will need to be on their guard against tonight.
Further behind him, there was so much talk about Calvin Ramsey, another really big up-and-coming right back in Scottish football. Talk of interest from Serie A, Bologna, who have already, you know, dipped their toe into the Scottish market by taking Aaron Hickey. He's only really had 6 months as a professional football player. How good is Calvin Ramsey?
Well, if the first 6 months are anything to go by, he's going to have a stellar career. However, I'm delighted he hasn't moved in this window, First of all, because we get to see more of him here in Scotland, but also for his development. There's no point in moving to a team and sitting on the subs bench or playing for the under 23s or not playing. Once you start playing as a young player, you want to continue to play as much as you possibly can and learn on the game. And learning here at Aberdeen will be the best for him. Of course, people have looked at Nathan Patterson going to Everton. A lot of people are comparing him in transfer fees. Aberdeen have him under contract till 2024. So they will decide when it's best to sell or when they get the best value for money. But I think he's going to go on and be an international player. I think he's that good. To have that ability at 18, it would be disappointing if he doesn't go on and become a full international. So, he'll have a good game tonight. A strong game tonight, but he's up against the informed player in the league, and Wigan, Charles Cook.
Well, I know that you've done a lot of research on Dominic Samuel and Christian Ramirez. You're going to have to save it for the game because I've run out of time. We're almost ready for kickoff. The players are almost on their way out. So we will be back shortly for kickoff. It's Ross County against Aberdeen.
As a family-owned business, Norscot understand the need for stability, security and comfort. That's why every timber frame kit we supply is built with these in mind. Providing great design flexibility, our homes are entirely customisable to your needs. And with a wide range of adaptable set and bespoke designs on offer, your budget is not a limitation. To find out more, email info@norscot.co.uk. Norscot, proudly serving customers throughout the UK since 1984.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my family.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my teammates.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my neighbours.
When I hold the card, I stand with my brothers and sisters.
We're standing with everyone who's had to endure racial prejudice in their lives.
Racism comes in many forms, some clear, some more subtle.
It affects not just the victim, but friends, families and entire communities.
No one is born with it, and tolerance is taught, but it can be untaught.
To bring about change, we can't be afraid to take the first step. We fail when we fail to try.
We are supporting Show Racism the Red Card, our education charity.
Now more than ever, they need your support to give our future generation the tools to challenge prejudice, hatred and discrimination.
It's not enough to be not racist. We all must be anti-racist. Education is the key.
Sometimes you have to search far and wide for the answer. But for creative video production, the answer's on your doorstep. DP Digital Media, the other top team in the Highlands.